had this whole plan. I had this whole show planned out, Lito. We're going to talk about David Griffin's contract extension. We're going to really dive into it,
I
and
mean, we
then
can
my
still do
phone
that though.
started to blow up. What's that?
We can still do that.
Oh, we're still going to do it. Don't worry. Don't get me wrong. But then my phone
Oh,
started blowing up, and it's Zion Williamson crashing Gilbert Arenas' live podcast, and Zion said a lot of things. Though the one quote I'll say, and I'm sorry, I'm a little off right now. Presented by Birdsall Law Firm. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Official injury lawyers of Pro Pels Talk. Christian Clark just tweeted this out, and I quote from Zion Williamson: "There are a lot of things I could have done better. I didn't. I'm in the process of fixing those things." From Ryan Loves Pels, who used to be Ryan Hates Bagels, Zion was just live on Gilbert Arenas' podcast and essentially said he is ready to hoop. He talked to Coach K and said he could have been doing things off the court better, and he's in the process of righting those wrongs. He also said he's following LeBron's health blueprint now. Jake Hardy, Pelicans by Jake. Shout out Jake's my guy. Zion says his focus this offseason is getting in more flexibility work to keep him on the floor next season. Gilbert Arenas also on the podcast, Lito says how happy he looks, how good he looks, how he's in shape. Things you want to see. Thoughts?
well, I just watched this 10 seconds ago. So, um, from from a Pelican standpoint, I think this is what you want to hear, especially if you're a fan of the team. This is what you want to hear. This is the wave that you want your max player to be on. The best player on your team, generational talent. This is what you want to hear from him. And I like the fact that he was honest. He was asked a lot of questions about a lot of different things, a lot of aspects that have been his Achilles heel so far in his short career. And I appreciate him answering them honestly. Let me take a step back. I appreciate him even pulling up. I don't know how he got to the podcast. I have no clue. All I see is the clips from shout out to Jake Hardy.
You know what that shows me, Lito, is that he's confident in himself. He doesn't just randomly show up places, you know? Like, when does he ever, like, besides, like, going, like, he goes and crashes, like, sometimes plays, like, the 3-on-3, 4-on-4 outside with, like, the kids and stuff, but he ain't never done this. And he sounded confident. He looked good. Now, listen, some of you listeners who watch the show regularly, listen on Apple or Spotify, you could just say, we said this last year. We did, but you never really saw Zion in the offseason last year until he showed up for training camp. This one was different. I don't know. I'm just excited to see him.
Look, man, he said stuff. He was asked about his relationship with food, and he was upfront. He said, being a young millionaire, having what it feels like endless money, you tend to, like, it's hard to control yourself, man. 22 years old, 21 at the time, I think, and the world is your oyster, and you are just kind of like doing whatever you want to do, food wise, and being young, you could always get back in shape. Um, and to hear him say that he's now following LeBron's blueprint was it was good to hear. I've been saying countless times, I think this season coming up is a season where you're gonna see a different Zion Williamson, and I feel like I've said that since, I want to say, everything swirling around him started. I think that he's gonna have a chip on his shoulder and he's gonna come in differently. So to hear him say that,
And you hear him say that, and then you heard Trey Murphy say yesterday at halftime how he has once again a chip on his shoulder, and that he's been talking with Z, and that he's in a good headspace and things like that. And then you had Larry Nance again today on Twitter. If you haven't seen the tweet, Larry Nance defending Zion Williamson I think NBA Central tweeted something out like Zion Williamson doesn't want to do a floater or like a mid-range jumper, and it's like, what the fuck are
Nah,
people
it
even
was Rick
talking
Rick
about?
Rick Bucher
Sorry,
was
it was. I'm sorry, NBA Central. NBA Central had reposted what Rick Bucher said, who said that Zion Williamson doesn't want to learn how to do a floater or a mid-range jump shot when you've seen him work on it. We've seen him work on it pre-game at practice. You've seen it in a game, so it's just a bunch of bullshit. But once again, Larry Nance on Twitter comes to his defense. Trey Murphy last night. Now you have him pull up to Gilbert Arenas' podcast. He's starting to make more and more appearances. Those are the things you want to see. Zion was in Paris, a couple weeks ago with Luka and Tatum. After the whole situation, we don't have to go into it, and then the endless tweets from, I'm not going to say her name.
live on location.
It's just nice to see Zion. It's nice to see him happy. And you have former NBA players saying he looks good. Now, it's just words. I need to see actions. But Lito, it's a good thing.
Listen, man. I understand if anybody feels differently. They feel like they heard this before. Absolutely, that's a very fair critique.
It is.
And I'm also with you. Like I've said multiple times, for me, it's gonna be difficult, but this is my last year of the bullshit.
Yes. This is it.
This is my white flag on the Zion experiment. But if he's gonna be mature and sorry, I had to plug my computer in before it died. If he's gonna be mature and actually live up to the expectations, live up to the hype, then that's a whole nother Zion. I got one thing to say though, before you move on. Yo, Zion should be on
Team USA, but we don't know if he declined it or not.
Declined it, yeah, because I know they don't have, yeah.
Damn, I was gonna say something. I was looking at Coach Sip. Shout out Coach Sip. He tweeted like, if you get flexibility in Zion Williamson, you might get 60, 65 games out of him.
It's all in the pause. It's all in the hips. It
really is.
It's all in the hips.
That was I'm excited about that. That got me really excited. And then Schmidt just came out and said, loud honesty from Zion. It says he's in the process of trying to fix past wrongs. Oh, that's what I want to say. Reaching out to Coach K. We talk about this all the time. Why don't we ever see Zion reach out to players, former team, whoever? Well, he's reaching back out to Coach K, who's obviously he's very comfortable with. And he seems like him and Coach K had a pretty brutally honest, is what he called it, conversation. So that's great to hear. I don't know. Maybe he's different, because if he's different and Zion comes back with a healthy Brandon Ingram, the team's pretty good. Okay.
Why wouldn't he? No,
go ahead. No,
why?
go ahead.
Why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he have like? Why would he lose? Oh, I don't know. I'm assuming. Why would he have lost communication with Coach K? Why would this be a thing that he's just reaching out to the guy who put him in the NBA?
It's a good question, but man, he's had let's think about it. Ever since Duke, what's happened? And not only just to him, just the entire world, right? You have a pandemic, which no one knows what's going on. That's year one. Tears his meniscus before the pandemic. Year one goes into the bubble. Year two, Stan Van Gundy, still kind of pandemic year. Year three, SVG gets fired, breaks his foot during the summer.
Yeah.
Doesn't play a game all year, has to go back to Portland. Just a whole shit show. Then comes back. CJ McCollum calls him out. Year four, comes back, focused, ready to go. 29 games, going off, hamstring.
I feel you, but check this out.
It sounds like excuses. I know.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, in a basketball world, basketball players continue to do the one thing, and that's play basketball. So if you felt comfortable at a certain place or with a certain person, I don't know why you would not continue to get.
Can I ask you this?
Yeah.
Do you think Zion was mature enough to reach out to Coach K, or do you think maybe he was kind of embarrassed or shy or didn't want to talk about things? Because I coach a lot of kids. I coach a lot of them from 13 to seniors. And a lot of them, you see them like their first couple of years, they don't really talk. They don't really say anything. Then like you start seeing them comfortable like sophomore, junior, and then they eventually turn to a man senior year and things like that. I'm just saying Zion was kind of young in the league, and maybe he was embarrassed to reach back out to him. I don't know.
I don't know. I just feel like, regardless, before you reached out to anybody, I feel like Coach K was his voice even before he got drafted. I remember Coach K saying that, um, you know, when the pictures the the smoke about him being overweight started, and Coach K said basically he's not been playing basketball because of his priorities to being a first round pick and going here and going there. So he was defending Zion from day one. So I don't know, but I do understand things happen, and I'll take your excuses. That's fine.
At least we're seeing some maturity.
I agree. I mean, look,
So it's a positive. But
I'm happy.
Listen, I'm with you. I don't think you're wrong. I'm just saying maybe we got to think about it in his head. I don't know.
Listen, I believe.
A lot of things.
I believe.
But this is
Zion's
it.
going to have a good season.
This is the last year. No bullshit. No bullshit.
Yep.
Presented by Chris Smith of Latter Blum, one of the top realtors in New Orleans, for a free marketing valuation of your property. To book a property tour or to talk real estate, give him a call at 504-231-2004. All right, let's get into it. David Griffin. Christian Clark came out over actually on Sunday. And
why they couldn't get Zion a chair? No mind. No mind. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Christian Clark came out. How am I supposed to continue the show with that? Christian Clark wrote an article saying that David Griffin had been extended. Did not give years, did not give dollar amount. Don't have to. And said this happened in the spring, which I thought was interesting. But Lito, let's just ask this question right here. Did Griffin earn an extension? Did he deserve it?
Justin, that's a loaded question. There's so much nuance to that question. Okay. Can I play? Okay, you know what? Can we let's do the devil's advocate thing. Let me be devil's advocate. I'm not calling Griff the devil, by the way. Justin, why wouldn't Griff deserve an extension?
Well, why wouldn't he deserve one? Yeah, I mean, back to the whole thing. I feel like the whole thought of this entire podcast is excuses, right? I mean, it's pretty easy to say that Griff has not had a fair shot at it.
Mm-hmm.
He has had Brandon and Zion play like 80-something games in 4 years.
Is that Griff's fault?
What's that?
Is that Griff's fault? Is their unavailability Griff's fault?
It's not Griff's fault. And this is where I think, as you said, it's a loaded question, right? Because his first move as president of basketball operations, once he got Trajan Swinton, just banged the shit out of my knee. Did you hear that? Golly. His first move was to trade Anthony Davis. And if we go back and you look at that trade and you get Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, Josh Hart, and all these picks for Anthony Davis, I think you would think it was a good trade. Now, has it panned out to be? AD's got a ring in the bubble. I don't know if you count it or not. And they just went to the Western Conference Finals. The Pelicans haven't gotten past the first round. But you have Brandon Ingram out of it. So there's that. Then it's like the coaching stuff. I think he missed. Like, he controls the coaching. Okay, you didn't want Gentry, that's fine. You got in there, that won your guy, whatever.
All right, hold on. Can I stop you right there? I don't want to get too. I don't want you to get too far because I have remarks about the statements that you're making, and I don't want to forget what you're saying.
Okay, go ahead.
Is that fair?
That's fair.
All right, so check this out. Yes, SVG. Some may say I hired the wrong coach. Right? That wrong coach got your superstars to play the most games they've ever played in this franchise.
Wow.
So, with that being said, how exactly did I hire the wrong coach? And I'll give you this. As far as the Gentry extension, sure. That was an overpay, that was an oversight. But if you think about it like this franchise has never had stability. You had somebody in Elvin who everybody was comfortable with. He was a player's coach, and bringing in a young, talented Zion Williams and a Brandon Ingram who hadn't had stability in his career either, along with Lonzo and Josh Hart. I think that some would say that Gentry may have uh, gave his best effort, maybe not coaching wise, but he ingratiated himself to the players. I also want to say throughout that whole entire process, I went and I did find your coach of the future in Willie Green. I vetted multiple times. I vetted Willie Green so much so that I passed on his first opportunity to be our coach because I wanted to be sure that he was our coach. I would also like to say, I'd also like to say about Willie Green, he has many things that people say Alvin Gentry has, as far as being a player's coach and as far as being a leader in a locker room, a good human being, so to speak. So
Not an
so
X's and O's guy.
not yet, but I am now currently letting Willie hire his own coaches to be on his staff and to help him with the X's and the O's. We get it. Young head coaches don't have X's and O's, for it takes a while to get in the NBA level. Look at Monty Williams, his first run here. You know what I'm saying? He got fired. Monty Ball was a thing. I remember third quarters of Monty Williams.
But
And
what about like a guy like Steve Kerr? Right? Did he just inherit gold? Right?
I mean, shit.
Listen, I know,
You
but
got
still,
the
you got to play
best
for the team.
shooter of all time. You got two of the best shooters of all time.
But you still have to. I understand that. I feel we're gonna get off the rail, but I have to say this because like you have to at least give the coaches credit for exploiting that those two guys. You were the focal point and putting in a blueprint.
Sure.
And I feel like everyone's like, oh, I could have just done that. I could have coached Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. No, you couldn't. Because there's schemes and shit to this.
Well, listen, Steve Kerr was a shooter. He would understand how to operate within the mind of a shooter, how to get a shooter.
And he played under the two greatest coaches of all time, in Phil Jackson and Greg Popovich.
Some would say that Steve Kerr had a cheat sheet. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, what did Willie Green have? Willie Green, for one, did not have Steve Kerr's experience. He was a grinder. He was under Alvin. He was under Steve too. So Willie has.
Okay.
He's been under good leadership as far as coaching.
Okay. All right. Look, you know what? You made your point. I'll go with you on there. Okay, that's fine. Can we talk? What?
No, I was just gonna say. So as far as because I think at some point you're going to go to roster construction and moves that I made, right? Were you going to go there next?
No, I was gonna visit the Drew Holiday trade and then the his first draft class.
Okay, that's fine.
And I'm not saying that Griff is deserving or not deserving. I just think that there's been a lot of things that's happened in 4 years, right?
I just want to talk it out. I just want to communicate as human beings. You know what I'm saying? Like I just wanted to talk it out because sometimes you have, should he get it? Yes, and then should he get it? No. But if I'm saying no, I'm just trying to. I just want to talk the whole thing out. You know,
that's totally fair. That's what we're here for.
Thank you, Justin. You're a good man.
You're a good man. Drew Holiday trade. Drew Holiday goes to the Bucks. Pelicans get Steven Adams and Eric Bledsoe and George Hill, 2 future first-round picks from Milwaukee, and could swap 2 additional first-round picks. What would you grade that trade today? And I know Drew wanted to. And I know Drew asked out, but he asked out the right way, unlike Anthony Davis. What about that trade?
Hey. Hey. What you mean? Yo, we still have those picks.
Drew to the Bucks was an A? You think it was an A?
Listen.
Do you remember Eric Bledsoe?
He kept the wrong player.
He kept what?
He kept the wrong player. He should have
said George Hill.
Supposed to keep George Hill. He kept the wrong player. I literally just wrote that down. Kept the wrong player. But it's an A based on 2 things, right? I'm gonna tell you why. It's an A based on you literally looking at this unfolding in real time in Portland right now, right? You got your franchise, you got the guy who gave your team stability, who brought them to a couple playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Who's beloved by the community, and that man asked out in the right way, right? So what do? You grant him his wishes and you put him on a team where he can succeed and win a championship, right? You never heard Drew come out and say anything bad about Griff because of that situation, right? So for me, like, you saw how important he was to this community, and you could have you could have sent him to Toronto, you could have sent him to the Clippers. The Clippers not a bad team no more. You could have sent them. You could have sent them to Charlotte. You could have sent them to Charlotte, right?
Where JJ gets sent to Dallas, that's actually not a bad place to go. Remember when he pissed off JJ out the trade thing.
Yeah, but JJ ruined his own value.
JJ was an asshole. But I like JJ now. Shout out JJ.
No. And it's not even. I'm not even saying he was an asshole. I'm saying he wasn't doing the one thing he was in the NBA to do. I can't trade you to a team if a team does not want you because you're not doing the thing that you should be able to do.
Yeah.
How can I move you? Secondly, hold on. Secondly, you still have those picks. And we
still have the Lakers picks. We're not doing anything with them.
But
that's the problem.
What I'm saying is based on the cachet of the war chest of picks, based on how the trade played out, it was favorable for a player that this fan base loves. I don't know. What would you give it?
Not an A. I mean, I think it's not. It's the Eric Bledsoe thing for me because I don't.
He kept the. All right. Hold on. Let's talk.
That's
this out.
when he screwed up.
Let's talk this out. Let's say he traded Eric Bledsoe and kept George Hill. What would you give it?
For a guy that asked out, knowing that like he went to Griffin's, like I need to get out. Damn. You don't think Drew could have? I feel like Drew could have hauled more.
Drew Holiday? Oh, no more. All right.
All right. That's fine.
I'm just
hold up.
Why should Drew Holiday? Why should Drew Holiday get more?
You don't think you get a better player than Steve? You don't think you get a better player than Steven Adams or Eric Bledsoe?
But it was the picks. The picks were the valuable. I'm saying that based on if you're looking at what OKC is doing right now, they literally are doing what Griff was doing.
So then this is, what, we can't even grade this. We can't grade it yet because it has not filled out. Because actually what I also left out in the Anthony Davis trade, he did get Herb Jones and Dyson Daniels out of that.
I didn't even get a chance to talk about that trade. But in my defense, I'd like to say defensively that So, okay, let's talk about it. Steven Adams, I did get Steven Adams in that deal, right? So the Bucks have acquired Drew Holiday. It's a 14 deal. They add Drew Holiday and Sam Merrill for exchange for Eric Bledsoe, George Hill, 3 future first-round picks, and 2 additional pick swaps. Right. So yeah, some of this trade is in the future. I will say that Griff has. You know what? Let's say this. Griff is a very creative GM as far as off-season deals, free agency, and trades. You cannot.
I wouldn't give him free agency. I'd definitely give him trades though, because I'm not. That's not a knock on him because New Orleans is just not a destination.
Hold on. Free agency. You signed Jose Alvarado, right? He was an undrafted free agent, correct?
Okay. God, you're being technical tonight. Very, very not like you, but go ahead.
You signed Jose for, I don't remember what he got.
He got 4 years, like $6 million.
What was EJ Liddell this summer?
He got 3 years.
No. But I'm saying he was on the 2-way, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Was he?
He was.
Okay.
So you
also got Najee.
You signed EJ Liddell for a very team-friendly deal. For a player coming off injury, I feel like it was team-friendly for me because I feel like he based on what he was drafted for, he's better than that contract.
Okay.
All right. You signed Najee for, I don't remember what he got.
Minimum stuff.
Okay.
I mean, you just said Najee's got to be the 14th best player on the team. I mean, this guy's not like guy's not top 7.
But I'm saying Garrett Temple was making more than Najee, right?
Garrett Temple's making more than Trey.
Okay, so cool. So if Najee is the 14th best player on the team, I'm not tripping over that.
Okay. Can we move on to
Herb Jones? Herb Jones just signed.
I'm not.
That don't count. That don't count as signing the player?
I know too much information. Can we go to a good trade? Good trade.
Yeah, we could. But let me say this. Hold on. Before
Wait.
you do that, wait. No, I'm playing devil's advocate. You gotta let me get my shit off. I'm being a defense attorney right now, comrade. Listen, hear me out. Griff, while I did acquire Steven Adams in that trade, I evaluated Steven's performance next to Zion, next to Brandon, next to
Lonzo and Eric Bledsoe.
Eric Bledsoe, right? I reviewed the tape, I watched the film, and you know what I found out? I didn't like the fit.
Not a good fit. Okay, that's a perfect transition. Thank you. That's a perfect transition.
I knew what you was about to do.
You're fucking smart, man. So, so they trade. Griff trades. I don't have the full trade in front of me, but Bledsoe and Adams. Adams goes to Memphis. They also swap the picks, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Pelicans gets JV. Then the Grizzlies select. What's his name, Lito?
Zaire Williams.
Zaire Williams. And the Pelicans get Trey Murphy.
That's scary. I remember that. That's crazy.
Dude, they got JV and Trey Murphy in that trade for Steven Adams, who was okay he's been fine for Memphis. Williams, who has been nothing, and they get Trey Murphy, JV, and they get off the Bledsoe contract. That was probably his best trade.
I'm speaking as David Griffin from here on out because I want to advocate for myself as good as I can. All right, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, cool. I didn't like the fit that Steven Adams had. Well, that's where we last left off, right? So I did what I did. The big man before him that I didn't like the fit of either. I got his ass out of here. Send him on the first thing smoke to Music City. I don't know if Memphis. I don't care what they are, but I'm just saying. So I like to say this is what I like to say, right? We drafted Zaire Williams for the Grizz. That's what we did. Me, Big Griff. I did that, right? And check this out. I got the protected 22 first-round draft pick from the Lakers as a part of a 3-team deal, right? Where Memphis got Jared Butler, right? All right.
Riverside legend.
I sent them Steve. I got Jonas Valanciunas. Right. I got Jonas Valanciunas. You know what I also did? If you want to talk this what did Griff do shit to get an extension, let me tell you what I did, pal. I drafted a guy. His name is Lil Kenny III. That was me. In that deal, I got you that player. You talk about a guy who's not even known for being an athlete in the slam dunk contest. I brought y'all that. Y'all bum asses should thank me. I'm the guy who got you the guy who's gonna be competing and winning future 3-point contests. This guy, he gave himself an egregious nickname, so I'm not gonna go there. Can't do that. But what I will say is, you got a guy whose future is brighter than most third best players on a team in the NBA. He's 22 years old, I believe.
Yep.
The guy I drafted. Do you know his range? You know when he walks into the parking lot and he parks his car? That's where you got to guard him from, because he can make it from there. This is what I did. So you asking me if I deserve an extension? Who y'all think I am?
All right. Can I talk about another one of your trades, if you don't mind?
Before you say that.
No. It's my turn. My turn.
Go ahead. I got rid of Eric Bledsoe.
You got the number 1 pick or the number 4 pick. The entire world knows you're drafting Zion Williamson. You could just take DeAndre Hunter, who we saw at the Venetian. Shout out Venetian. Shout out Yardbird. You could have just taken DeAndre Hunter at 4. Instead, you decide to trade back.
Yeah.
You get the 7th pick.
Talk to me.
Oh, I'm messing it up now. Damn it. You get the 7th and 10th pick. You take Jackson Hayes. And then you take Nickeil Alexander-Walker.
Yeah. No doubt.
Why wouldn't you?
I remember.
Why didn't you just take DeAndre Hunter,
I remember.
or not be a pansy and trade up and go get John Morant?
This guy, I think I am. Well, Justin, I'll answer your questions because I have nothing to hide.
Okay.
I tried to trade up and pair Zion and Ja together, and if you
trying has the intention of failing, sir.
Justin, let me tell you something about failure. I know nothing about failure. Secondly, the thing is, in order to make a trade, I gotta have people willing to trade with me. It's not a one-sided affair. Memphis has to want to give up that pick that they know I'm gonna pair with my one. Why would they do that? I don't know why, but I tried. And also, who was I gonna trade? Who was I gonna trade for the pick on the team?
Why didn't you just take DeAndre Hunter at 4?
Who else supposed to give up to get that pick, Justin?
Why didn't you just take DeAndre Hunter at 4?
Because you know why?
Was that madly in love with Jackson Hayes, who had been playing basketball for 2 years?
You know why I drafted Jackson Hayes, Justin? You know why? Because players fuck up too. Sometimes when I'm sitting in my condo and I'm drinking wine and I start thinking about the future of this franchise, I get excited and I like to take on projects, right? And I saw this project out of Texas. He was 6'10". He could run the floor like a gazelle. He was a weak side blocker. And I said, damn, man, you know what? If I pair him with this generational talent and I pair him with this NBA All-Star and Brandon Ingram, and we give him some time and he learns the game and we get to a point where, man, this kid probably could be, a premier shot blocker in the NBA. He could be a guy who could screen and roll and get you 10, 10 and 15 a game, right? And you know what happened, Justin? I didn't have enough in my toolkit for this project.
Well, Mr. Griffin, there's good news though, because 2 years later, I'm sorry, we didn't finish out
Nickeil.
No, I'm not worried about whatever. I'm back to the Trey Murphy thing. You did a great job. You traded for Trey Murphy. You get Jonas Valanciunas.
It's me.
You know who you also get, Lito? I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
That's cool. It's
Mr. Griffin. I'm sorry. You know who you also get?
I know.
Herb Jones.
Damn right.
And Jose Alvarado.
Yeah, say his name.
Herbert Keyshawn Jones.
That's right.
And Jose Alvarado. So your 2021 draft class netted you basically 2 starters and a key contributor off the bench.
Justin, if you ever see me, David Griffin, in a fight with a grizzly bear, help the bear. Help him.
Okay. You done tooting your own horn?
What's the question? Go ahead.
Well, you crushed it, Mr. Griffin. But then
it's me.
With the 13th pick,
overall
pick in the 2020 NBA draft, the New Orleans Pelicans select Kyra Lewis, Alabama, when you had Tyrese Halliburton a pick before, and you could have traded up one spot. Why didn't you trade up one spot and take Tyrese Halliburton?
So listen, I know listening to listen. Okay, so all right, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. That's fine. Kyra Lewis was probably the best player in the SEC that year. He probably was the best player in the SEC. I can't say Tyrese Halliburton was the best player in his conference. I can't say Maxey was the best player in his. Maxey might have not been the best player on his team.
Okay, but
he might not have been the best player on his team. Kyra Lewis was 6'4". He's a lightning quick guard that probably was a 3'9" and a 40. Right? He in college he had a decent he had a decent he also had a decent shot, right? He was he had first round. Go ahead.
Mr. Griffin, I don't mean to cut you off, but were you thinking about taking Kyra Lewis to take Lonzo Ball's spot? Or did you think it was going to be a backcourt of Nah and Kyra?
So check this out. Check this out, Justin. I David Jerome Griffin. Hold on. Let me before I answer your question, let me just say this. Kyra Lewis Jr. He averaged 16 points a game in college. He had 4 assists. He shot the 3 at 36%. He had effective field goal percentage of 51%. How is that a bad pick?
It's an undersized guard, coach.
I mean, so you telling me small guards? You just told me Jose Alvarado was a steal, but now undersized guards don't work. Is it Uchi Wally Wally or is it one Mike? What is it?
How did the show become this? I was so thrown off by the Zion thing. You're crushing me, by the way.
Edible kick, man.
Yeah, for sure. What do you? All right, back to Lito. You just went through all that stuff. Oh wait.
Yeah.
One more.
Oh, you think you got me? Go ahead.
Wait, one more positive though.
Oh,
yeah, let's talk about this. I mean, it was a big swing. C.J. McCollum, for Josh Hart, Sadaransky, Nikhil Alexander-Walker, Didi Luzada.
It's me.
2022 first round pick, two second round picks, and you get CJ, Larry Nance, and Tony Snell. Another good trade.
You sound shocked. It's me. It's what I do.
So Lito.
Yeah.
Did he deserve the contract extension?
I listen. At the end of the day, I don't see why not. I don't see why not. I think that he probably gonna get a lot of pushback about it. People have expectations, but the main thing is this, right? The main thing is this. You could call it however you want to see it, however you want to. How I see it is, if you look at how things played out, Griff put together a roster with the best team in the NBA, in the Western Conference for a week. But he put this.
Don't like that narrative. A lot of people don't like that narrative.
The narrative is this: Griff cannot lace him up and play for 1-14. Griff had a tumultuous relationship with Zion. I'm still speaking from Griff, by the way. Griff had a tumultuous relationship with
Zion.
Zion.
You're fantastic, by the way. Absolutely fantastic. Just how I imagine he would talk on the show.
I was about to get into my used car salesman bag. It was gonna be crazy. Like I was gonna start saying things like preposterously, and like I was just gonna like bring up the Griff lingo. I was gonna, yeah. But let me say, wait, what the fuck was I talking about? Jesus Christ. I was saying something.
You're talking about
oh, I want to say this. CJ McCollum. Right.
Yeah, the CJ McCollum trade.
CJ McCollum, right? You talk about a guy. I brought you guys a guy who is a career 20-point game scorer as a small guard in the NBA. Right? He's a career 20 per game player. I brought you guys a guy in 8 seasons, I think, in the NBA, 8 or 9 seasons in the NBA, that has never missed a playoff. I brought you guys a guy. Yeah. Listen, I brought you guys a guy who not only has a winning pedigree, right? I mean, we saw what he did to Duke. Shout out to 5. We saw what he did to Duke. He sent the boys home. Yeah.
That's 30 right there.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? It's all love. He had leverage on, you know what I'm saying? But listen, I brought you guys a guy who's never made the playoffs. I brought you guys a guy who may have not won an NBA championship, but a lot of people who are great have not. I brought you guys a guy who has a winning pedigree, right? He sent Duke home. You saw what he did to Denver in Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals. Excuse me, not the finals, but in Game 7 of the Western Conference, semis. Yeah, that'll be kicking. And this is what happened. He sent them boys home. He literally took the game over. You got a killer, like you got a guy CJ who can make him dance. He's a dance instructor. You also got I think people underestimate CJ's grit. Do you remember that game I forgot who they were playing, but CJ was killing dude, and the guy fouled CJ like super hard, and he gets a flagrant. I don't know if he got a flagrant actually, but he fouled him super hard, and CJ was like got up, he was talking shit to him, and then he like blew him a kiss. Yo, like that's my image of CJ McCollum. So like when people be like, like we a nice team with no dog, CJ a killer. Like he is a killer. He's a guy who fucking kill, like he'll kill you. He don't play that like he not. I know you hear him speak and you think he does. He speaks so eloquently, but like on the court, dog, it's a switch. Like you can see it, and I put that in the locker room. Is what I'm saying. I put that in the locker room for the young guys.
Wow. All right.
Feel like you can run through a wall.
No, you've no lie, you've actually changed my thought. I didn't say that we should have fired Griff, but the contract, I thought this would be a make or break year, right? Like if you saw progress, all right, contract extension. But I listened to Christian Clark and Adam today from the wing. They make good points, and then you just fucking crush that. And so I'm thinking, you gotta have your best guys on the court, and that hasn't been a thing. He's traded well, free agency, meh. He's drafted. I mean, the draft is such a crapshoot, but geez, Trey, Herb, Jose, Dyson looking decent, Zion obviously,
So listen,
and
one more.
Jordan Hawkins, which we hadn't played a game.
Mm-hmm.
But I think you kind of changed my mind. The one thing we haven't talked about though, Lito, is the hiring, firing Aaron Nelson.
Listen, Justin, this is Griff again. Do you want? Because
Do whatever you want. Dealer's choice.
I'm gonna go as Griff. So listen, Justin, again, players fuck up too. They fuck up a lot. But check this out. What a player does, he rights his wrongs. Before I get into Aaron Nelson, let me say this. Any mistake I feel like I ever made, I came back and I corrected it. And I didn't let it linger. I corrected it immediately. Like the following season immediately. So what I'm saying is, I don't let shit slide. I don't think nothing sweet. So to answer your question. Wait, what was your question?
The hiring and firing of Aaron Nelson.
All right.
Yeah. We do this for y'all, guys. Fucking late.
So listen, peep this. I'm still speaking from Griff. Peep this. Aaron Nelson, the firing of it. Before there's an end, there's a beginning. So let me bring you back to the beginning, right? What I did was, in the name of Aaron Nelson, who may go down as maybe the greatest NBA trainer of all time, right? Hall of Fame NBA trainer. What I did was, I yanked that man away from his long-term job in Phoenix, where he had lived his life. He got Steve Nash MVPs. He brought Grant Hill back. He brought Penny back. He brought Shaq's career back. You know what I'm saying? I kept Amari on the court for as long as I could. You know, Amari fell? When Amari left Phoenix and he went to New York, his body broke down, right? I kept that man together. I gave you Karan Butlers of the world. You know what I'm saying? I hit you with Leandro Barbosa. I kept him on the court. Shit, I'm the one who had Boris Diaw in shape. Picture that. Boris Diaw was never in shape, never in great physical shape after he left me. Boris Diaw was point forward before there was a, you know what I'm saying? Well, I mean, actually, it was a thing when he was in the NBA. But what I'm saying is, now I'm speaking from Nelson, right? What I'm saying is that's what I did to the NBA. Now I'm speaking as Griffin King. So what I did was I stole that man from Phoenix and I brought him here. And when I brought him here, you know what Aaron Nelson did? This is me, Aaron Nelson again.
No.
This is a shit show. I don't like none of this. No, throw that shit away. No, get him out of here. I don't want. I'm Griffin again, right? So when Aaron decided he wanted to make those changes, you know what I did? I went to the Queen Pen. I went to see that lady, and I said, "Look, man, you got to open your pocketbook up. We need your purse." We need that. You got to
This
open
is
it up.
Griffin. I'm sorry. Is this
This is
Griff
Griff.
talking to his
This is
Benson?
Griff.
Okay, I'm
Yes.
sorry.
Yeah.
To say, can you repeat what you just said there?
Yeah. Look, man, you got to open that pocketbook. We need that bread. We need you to spend them ends. You know what I'm saying? I know you sitting on something. You know what I'm saying? Let me hold the coin purse, right? And I need to get all this fixed because we're not a real NBA team right now. So what I'm saying, I fired Nelson, but we gonna get into that. I fired him though, but before I did, we rose this shit up from the dead.
Okay.
Right. Now here's the thing. You got one. Life is a chessboard, right? It's a chessboard. You got 1 and 14 who are technically the king and the queen. You got Aaron Nelson, who should be a knight, but he's probably in this case a pawn. So 1 and 14 come to me, and they say, "Hey, we don't really like Aaron Nelson. We don't like him. Like I gotta get a second opinion. I don't trust his methods. I can't. Not only that, I may not even show up to the physical therapy session. I may not even come. Griff, Aaron Nelson, my man. I brought him from Phoenix. We went to college together. If you feel like firing Aaron Nelson was an easy thing for me, then you out of your mind. But as the president of this organization, I gotta do what my star players want. You should really be saluting me for firing my man. That's my guy for 30 plus years. You should salute me for knowing him. And I did my job correctly. I fired him, which is probably, we'll see how it works out. But my superstars wanted that.
So
AKA
your superstars.
me, Griff again, right my wrongs.
But can I ask Lito one final question before signing off?
Yes, you can. Let me get him.
How many times can you be wrong? Because
how big
what's that?
How big are the wrongs? Are the wrongs monumental, or are they like little white wrongs?
Has he made I think the only monumental mistake he's made is with the Zion relationship. There's clearly fracture. I don't know if it's back or whatever, but there hasn't been a monumental mistake. But there's been mistakes.
I think the biggest mistake was the Lonzo trade. I think he.
Oh, he smoked that one. I think he
poorly managed that.
Oh, because Lonzo had all the he's like, I'm going to Chicago. Like, damn.
Like he told Alvin Gentry, I gave you the keys to I gave you the answers to the test. Like Lonzo gave him the answers to the test, and all he brought back was Garrett Temple.
And remember how bad Sato was? Holy,
not even an NBA player.
I gotta take some time out of this show and just congratulate you. That was an impressive performance. I mean, you were Nelson, you were Griffin. That was impressive. That was truly impressive.
Thank you, man.
Like, comment, subscribe. Love to hear your thoughts on the Zion interview. Love to hear your thoughts on if Griff should have stayed, should have gone, should have just not done anything. Wow. Always a lot of stuff. Who we put him on?
I don't know.
I don't know who we put him on. We put him on like 6 something. I think we'll have a recap for you.
I want to say one thing before we get out of here. I think that the pairing of team that I've put together, is a smattering of love, and we should be so gracious and great to know that we love each other and we can love each other. And I want to say that nothing shall separate this group of great men in my locker room. Nothing that God brought together, no man can take apart. So therefore, by way of David Griffin signing off.
Chris Connor's going to lose his mind. See you later. Oh my God.